Well, welcome all to this extraordinary meeting of the Town Council. This is specifically to discuss the matters on the agenda, and we will crack on. The circumstances tonight are that there aren't any fire drills, so if you do hear the alarm go off, we'll cross the road through those doors. Apologies for absence, please. Sharon.
Councillors Whitfield and Councillor Blackmore.
Thank you. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 town councillors. Welcome, Christian and Rachel online. Thank you for joining us. Declaration of councillors' interests. I've nothing to declare that I'm aware of. Paul?
Nothing from me.
Nothing to declare.
Nothing from me.
Nothing that I'm aware of.
None that I'm aware of.
Thank you. We're meeting here tonight, as you know, to discuss the hall's refurbishment programme, which we're hoping to get going in the new year. So we have a recommendation following a number of meetings that we've had with Osborne and Trix to recommend the contractor, which is Jones Building Group, following tender submissions of, I think, about 6 or 7 other companies. So, are we having a discussion about this? Are there any comments that councillors would like to make?
Would it be helpful if I just said a few words about the general structure of the project?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Osborne Trix have drawn up all the technical specifications of the work. It's completely outside the scope of the skill set of this council or the staff. The compliance with strict new regulations is essential, particularly in the light of Grenfell. Osborne Trix organised a tender process, inviting contractors to bid for our Priority 1 and Priority 2 works, which is basically safety plus working conditions. We had 7 bids. They ranged in value from $306,000 to $645,000. The 2 most expensive were rejected, and Osborne Trix performed detailed reviews on the others, focusing on the 2 cheapest, and in particular, replacing provisional sums with fixed sums wherever possible. At the end of that process, a clearly preferred candidate emerged, Jones Building Group, with a total contract value of £326,808 before charging VAT. This is not the total cost of the project. We need to add Osborne Trix's own fees and other consultants' fees that bring the total to about £394,000, plus, of course, the future maintenance programme. And should the work expose any any unsuspected problems, that will, of course, add to the cost. I did a little digging about the Jones Group. I've looked at their accounts for the last couple of years. They've been established for about 45 years. They're based in Yeovil. They have an office in Portishead, which will handle this contract. I've looked at their accounts and they are up to date. They are free from audit criticism. And they show a medium-sized group with a turnover of about 30 million that appears financially stable. It seems unlikely to me that they will go bust during the course of this contract. After that, we don't care. They should certainly be able to handle our contract. They're plenty big enough. The Hall's working group are unanimously in favour of awarding the contract to Jones. We've met their principal managers who will handle this contract, and we have an excellent trade reference from Alliance Homes. That's all I would like to say about background. To me, it sounds fairly convincing. And Christian, I must say, Christian is here to help if you have any queries about the project itself.
Chairman, may I just interrupt? Can you just quickly go back to declarations of interest
for
Jenny and Tim, so that we can encompass that before you take any further voting? Thank you.
Indeed so, yes. Jenny?
No declarations of interest that I'm aware of.
Tim?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. I think we're all in agreement that the the documentation, the amount of work that went into assessing these contractors was very thorough. And I think we were all in agreement
I
that
agree.
not only were they the cheapest, but they were sort of encompassed everything that we were looking for, and came out very well, I think.
And when we met them, they had a very positive attitude.
Indeed. Yes. And they were working throughout the southwest, St Austell, right through to Bournemouth, and quite a large area. And were they planning to open an office in London or something like that?
I don't know.
Well, there was certainly.
I missed that if it was
Yeah.
mentioned.
Okay, so we have that recommendation that following the subcommittee's reports that we accept Jones Buildings Group as the preferred contractor for the works over the 2 periods next year and the second financial year. So could I have a proposer, John? You have John, David. Yeah, sure.
It's just 2 small questions, and I don't disagree with the recommendation. And thanks for your detailed digging around into the background of the group, John. That's really helpful. Just 2 things. First of all, I wondered whether, with the 2 priorities combined, going to the same contractor, whether there are any possible economies of scale, given they're going to be doing both bits of work at the same time, and it looks like they costed for them separately. The second thing was just a clarification of the numbers on page 22 of the report, the professional fees. Is that the kind of professional fees of Osmond Tricks that we've known about all along? Or is that in addition to the costs of these quotes?
David, I'll ask Christian to perhaps come back on those questions you've asked.
Okay. In regard to economies of scale, I think the contractor has been asked to cost those priority works items separately. I think that there is some economies of scale built into the tender, in that we're expecting to engage the contract with some continuity to basically follow on from the priority 1 works with the priority 2 works. There would be more economies of scale, obviously, if the priority 1 and priority 2 works were appointed to all happen concurrently. But that's not what they've been asked to tender on. That's not the brief that we've been working to. So they are kind of separate work streams, if you like.
If I can come in there, the main reason for the distinction between priority 1 and priority 2 is simply that we can't afford to have all the work done simultaneously. We just haven't got the cash. But by crossing into a new financial year from April onwards, we get another chunk of precept money coming in, and that eases all our cash flow problems.
David, does that answer your questions? You sure?
The second thing, yeah, I know, and you've answered the question about professional fees. Okay, that's fine.
In regard to professional fees, there isn't anything in regard to professional fees that wasn't anticipated, I think, at the kind of feasibility stage of the project. So obviously there's design and project management fees in relation to Osmond Tricks, but there's also building control, mechanical and electrical services consultant who's designed those elements, fire engineer who's obviously had to be involved in some of the specialist fire safety items. So we're satisfied that encompasses everything it needs to in relation to this type of project. But there isn't anything, I don't think, that wasn't anticipated early on in the project, if that helps.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like a proposer, please, for the committee for the council to accept Jones Building Group as the preferred contractor for this halls refurbishment project. That's the 3 halls at a rate of £392,170.18, and duly authorised as the property. 392,000.
Mike, can I just point out that the
Yes.
number 392,000 includes value-added tax,
It does.
and the 326,000 that I was referring to does not include value-added tax.
Yes. Yes. And we'll come on to talk about
And-
the VAT
Yes.
shortly. The proper officer to sign all the relevant contractual commitments. Can I have a proposer, please, for that? John?
Yep.
Seconded by Paul. All those in favour, please, of accepting that. Pretty unanimous. Yep.
Can we just see that again? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone.
That was for 326. That was the less the VAT, yeah?
Yes.
Including
Figure less
VAT,
VAT.
yes.
Yes. Right.
Right. At this point, I think we can say thank you to Christian.
Yeah, thanks, Christian.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much. Right, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next agenda item is actually the exclusion of the public and the press, and to go into confidential items. So Christian's left. Yeah. So right. VAT then. It's to consider a report on the VAT recommendations.
Yes. We just vote on the actual exclusion of the press and the public.
Read out the verbiage.
Under the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act 1960, members of the public and press are required to leave the meeting for the next item that we're talking about because of their confidentiality and the contractual matters therein. So the recommendation is to agree to exclude the public and the press. Proposer? I'll propose, seconded by John. All in favour, please. Thank you. That's carried. All right.